I was just telling my wife it's unbiblical to have the birth of Jesus in a teaching lesson or something like Christmas without the death, burial, bloodshed, and resurrection. Well, why, you might ask? Am I some sort of Grinch or something? Well, nowhere in the Bible do people celebrate the birth of Jesus. You're not even told specifically when Jesus was born, but we are told to celebrate the death, burial, bloodshed, and resurrection of Jesus. We're told to spread the word. That involves giving the gospel that Jesus shed his blood, died, and rose again, and paid our way to heaven. And that you can only get saved by trusting in the death, burial, bloodshed, and resurrection of Jesus. Now, you don't need to mention the birth of Jesus to give the gospel. But if you have the birth without the gospel, what do you have? Something that's unbiblical. The wise men came to bring gifts, and it wasn't that 2 years after the birth of Christ because he was born a king. But nowhere in the Bible after that did anyone ever give gifts to each other to celebrate the birth of Jesus. Because we're not told in the Bible to do that. But you can include it when you give the gospel, but you should never have it alone. So this Christmas, just like every day, give the gospel that you're only saved by the death, burial, bloodshed, and resurrection of Jesus. I love this Christmas card. Right when I told my wife that in the car, you see it says Jesus at the top. Beautiful card. He came not to a throne, but to a manger. He lived not as a king, but as a servant. He chose not a kingdom, but a cross. He gave not just a little, but everything. That's right, folks. Jesus gave it all when he shed his blood, died, and rose again according to the scriptures. And that's what saves you. Why is it so many people that don't even give the gospel out, they don't even believe in Jesus, they celebrate Christmas? Because it's not a Christian holiday. Even the ones that actually believe Jesus is God the Son, he was born of a virgin, he shed his blood, died, and rose again, they don't just celebrate Christmas and leave out the gospel. If you do, I think you're wrong. No matter what, every day I think you should tell as many people as you can how to get saved by putting their faith in Jesus' blood. Not the false gospel, the kingdom gospel. That was the law and Jesus is the Messiah. Don't listen to that gospel. It's not for us today. When the Jews killed Jesus and denied him being the king for the year after the resurrection, that message was dead in the water. The 12 apostles never went out to the world. But the risen Jesus told Paul, you're saved now by the cross alone, Jesus' blood alone, plus nothing. Read it in Romans 2, Philemon. The books that Paul wrote, read it on trustjesusalone.com. Get saved by Jesus' blood. That's our gospel for today. The cross alone plus nothing. It's called the mystery given to Paul by the risen Jesus. Get on trustjesusalone.com. Check out how to get saved. Once you're saved, spread the word. We got gospel tracts available, shirts and bumper stickers.